Greetings and welcome to the Homeless Consultant channel. This is Paul B., the Homeless Consultant, and I just want to make a very brief video to tell you what has happened in this whole day, but in particular the last couple hours. This goes quite well along with my video, What It Is Like to Live in a Car. And in that video I point out all of the absurd, well, not all, I just point out a long list of the absurdities and injustices and threats that I face living in a car. And I make the specific point that for the most part, almost all, and when I mean almost all, I can only think of two examples that were not. One I'm not even sure about, but almost all of these examples of threats are housed people. They're not other homeless people. They are people who the standard mythology would say that they are perfectly normal, stable, you know, they're good people because they have homes, right? It's me who lives in my car that is the threat, according to the mythology. So I bust that myth with a very heavy hammer in my video, What It Is Like to Live in a Car, and I just wanted to give you another example of that. I'm parked in my usual spot as of late at the grocery store. I'm backed in next to, with an embankment behind me. You can see how the parking lot, and you can see here how these cars just keep making a beeline straight for me. Look at that. Look at that. What was the point of that? You tell me what the point of that was. You tell me what the point of that was. I mean, you know, this is one of the things I said in that video, is that these cars just, for some reason, they want to get right in front of me and shine their headlights on me. That guy came at me at high speed, could have just rammed right into me if he did anything wrong. And you can see there's nothing else in this lot. There's no reason that person had to drive like that. There's no compelling reason at all, right? Nothing. So there's an added bonus for you in this video. I didn't expect that one to happen. What I'm trying to tell you about is something else. Today has been the coldest day yet this winter by far. I think it's around 19 degrees right now, but the wind is blowing with that kind of wind that you have to walk sideways to avoid being blown over in it. And the wind chill has to be like 5 or 10 degrees. I don't know what it is, but it's unbearably cold. When I go out, because, you know, all I have is a heavy t-shirt and sandals right now, so I'm just frozen solid by the time I get done doing what I'm about to tell you that I had to do. So I'm in this grocery store parking lot. It's all downhill toward me, as you can see. I'm backed in against the embankment, so there's you know, nothing behind me except a dirt embankment. And because of these high winds, these shopping carts keep rolling down this hill. And I actually caught one on video. I caught this one on video as it was coming down and smashing into, well, not really smashing, this one didn't go quite as fast as the others, but you can see that shopping cart there right by my car. And these things are rolling down because of the wind, and they get blown pretty darn fast, depending on how steep the hill is. The hill is steeper to the left than it is to the right. And so earlier, about an hour and a half ago, I had one that went by me on the left and smashed into the embankment, the concrete there. And what inspired me to make this video was I was just under covers, and I have to be under covers. You know, I took my sandals off and wrapped my feet in blankets because that's the only way to try to keep them warm. And I'm under blankets, and all of a sudden I hear this boom, and my car starts shaking. So I thought somebody had hit me, and I jump up and I look, but instead what it was one of these shopping carts had just hit me directly right smack in the center of the front of my car, and then it bounced and it rolled around the side. And you can see it right here. There's my door, right next to my car. Now, because I'm so cold and I'm really not dressed right, I haven't even gotten out to look to see what the damage is yet, and the truth is I'm a little nervous about it. I'm really tired of having this car take a beating from stuff like this. Okay, so there was one cart earlier. The other cart landed roughly in that corner you see over there. So that's the first one, hour and a half ago. This one was about, I don't know how long ago, not too long ago though. And then this one right here that actually hit my car startled me just a few moments ago. That's 3 carts. Now you'll notice this cart is missing in the corner, the one I told you about. The reason is because I got out, even though I'm wearing sandals, even though I'm wearing nothing more than a heavy t-shirt, and it's extremely windy so that my hands are numb. And I walked it over to that cart corral, if you can see it. It's hard to see on the video. There's a cart corral right there. I walked it over to that and put it on the far side so that the wind could not blow it down. Now if you look at this parking lot, I don't know if you're able to see, but this place has the most cart corrals I've ever seen. They have one every 10 spaces throughout the entire lot. You know, all the way down to here. Now they don't have it in this near foreground because this is actually for another business which is closed down. That's why it's empty. But as far as that grocery store over there, where the people park for the grocery store, they have a cart corral every 10 spaces, which means that if you park in the middle, as far away as you can from them, the most you have to walk is 5 parking spaces to put your cart in a cart corral. And they do have those heavy like metal pieces on the ground so that if someone puts it on this side of the corral, it won't blow out of there. Even in this high wind, it won't blow out. So what's happened is other people who are shopping at this grocery store have been so lazy that they won't even move their cart 5 spaces, and they just leave them sitting there. And I see this all the time as I'm staring out here. People just get in their cars and they just leave the cart right where it is next to their car, and they drive off. And then eventually a lot of those carts end up blowing out here, like the one that just smacked into my car. So I have to ask the same question I asked in my video, what it is like to live in a car. Who's the real threat here? Me, the guy who was just sitting in his car, didn't even know what was going on there. I'm all wrapped up in blankets trying to stay warm because it's, you know, it is just freezing. Am I the threat? Am I the problem here? Or is it these supposedly respectable, housed people who can afford to actually go to a grocery store to get some food? Where I can't. Because so far, this is 3 carts that have actually flown down here. Can you imagine how many times I have seen people who just aren't putting carts away, they're just leaving them right next to their car? I can't even count how many times. But the carts blow in other directions, and up until recently, they had a guy out there who was grabbing all these carts. I don't know where he went. So they're the ones who are being lazy. The reason that cart isn't there is because I moved it. Even though I am freezing, I'm not wearing a coat, I'm not wearing gloves. I moved it to the cart corral, and you know what? When I'm done with this video, I'm going to move that cart, and I'm going to move that cart. And I'm going to put them in the cart corral so that they can't roll down the hill again. Now the people who are being paid to do that aren't going to do that. Like I said, he's missing in action. I don't know where he's been for the last hour or so. But the point is, why are those carts rolling at all? It's because these people shopping there are so lazy, they can't move their cart 5 spaces in either direction. Well, what do you want me to do with that? People are just making an assumption that because you're homeless, because you live in a car, you must be a shiftless, lazy bum. You know, I mean, this is the point I tried to make in that other video. I don't understand this. I was just sitting here trying to stay warm. Right now, my hand that's holding this camera is so frozen I can't even feel it. I mean, I'm just squeezing. I can't even feel the camera in my hand. It's so cold. And yet I'm about to move 2 more shopping carts out there because these people shopping here who are not homeless, we're a bunch of lazy bums, basically. Now I want to show you one last thing. If you look at I have the car running. You see that orange light on the right? That means that I'm almost out of gas. That thing went off about 8 o'clock this morning. As you can see, it is now almost 8 o'clock at night. And I've actually had to record this a few times, so when I first started that thing said 7:30. But the point is, at 8 o'clock when that thing went beep like that, I put $10 in gas in the car. I had sold a few more things than I had yesterday. Not much. Not enough to do this for very many days. $10 in gas, and now that thing's out again. So I have burned $10 in gas or more in the last 12 hours alone, and that was the warm part of the day. We haven't even gotten to the cold part overnight yet, and that's just one day. And I've had to, because the wind is so heavy and the wind chill is so cold, as soon as I shut off this engine, it only takes 5 or 10 minutes before the inside here is unbearable. It's basically 19 degrees like it is outside. So I'm going to turn that off, and I am going to hold the camera while I walk this one cart next to me over to the cart corral, because hopefully you will hear the wind. I don't know if it's still gusting the way it was before. I'm not hearing it, but it's definitely blowing. So let's just see what I have to do just to move one of these 3 carts. I'll let you watch. God, I am frozen solid from that. I am just frozen absolutely solid from that. Holy mackerel. Now I have to go do it again because these shoppers who are not homeless are too lazy to put their hands in the one's a parent. I wonder how they're going to raise their children. Look at that. Lucky their baby wasn't in this thing. If you look closely, you'll see a cart up against that. There's another one somebody didn't put away. I gotta switch hands, my hand's frozen. So you tell me, who are the lazy and shiftless people? Is it the homeless guy who just put 3 shopping carts where they should be because the wonderful house shoppers did not do it? I'd really like to know. Let's see if there's any damage to my car actually while we're here. Well, I'm not really interested in showing my license plate, so. I think there's a little plastic damage, but not as bad as it could have been. Alright, let me show you what I look like. Alright, you know what, I'm gonna keep this running. Let's see if, oh god, I can't even feel my fingers. I'm gonna keep this running. I don't know if you can see me. I have this set up for my camera. I have a weather radio here. Takes them forever to tell the weather.
It was 26 at Madison, 29 at Milwaukee, 27 at La Crosse, and 22 at Eau Claire. Once again at 8 p.m. in the Twin Cities, it was 20 degrees. The wind chill was 4, with snow flurries. Now here is the hazard.
Wind chill was 4. 4. That's my weather radio. So that's what I'm dealing with. No wonder I'm freezing. It's 4-degree wind chill. So there you go. There's another demonstration. You even got a free view of one of these stairmongers who made a special trip to come by my car, which happens all the time. I'll try to remember to edit in the video I showed of that cart rolling. That other cart that I showed you next to the light pole, that thing was starting to shift too, but I think it'll roll on that side if it comes down the hill. That's all I have for you. I just wanted to once again demonstrate that the people who are paid to do a job aren't doing it. The guy who's not paid at all is doing it. Thanks for watching, everyone.